What's in the cards for you this week ahead? Welcome to the week of March 24th to March 30th. I am so glad that you are here. As you hop on, say a quick hello, let me know where you're watching from. We are going to dive into all things energy, astrology, and really tracking where the moon is to help you live your best life. We are getting ready for a big eclipse, new moon solar eclipse this Saturday, March 29th. Got a lot of dates in my head. So as you hop on again, say hello. I'm going to just make sure that this video is catching live. And let me know too how you notice the moon in your life. Maybe it's just that you wake up at night when there's a full moon, you don't sleep well. Maybe you sleep really well on a new moon. Maybe you just catch her when she's shining so bright and beautiful and you're out driving at night and that moonrise is happening. I love being able to catch that moon so big on the horizon. It's very inspiring. There's something peaceful and magical and mystical about the moon. And tracking the moon, the benefit of it is it helps you navigate your day-to-day experiences because the moon affects our emotions. It is a way that, or an indicator of how we handle stress. What's even more powerful is when you know where the moon was when you were born, because then it gives you this ability. It's, I want to say almost like a free ticket to ride the emotional waves with more ease and grace. You don't feel like you're on this up and down roller coaster, but when you start to realize where your moon was on the day that you were born, where it was in the heavens, what zodiac sign, just like where the sun was, your sun sign or star sign, then it can change everything, especially when you're working with your children or your fur babies. Even, our fur babies have charts as well. I'll never forget learning about my daughter's moon. And when I learned where her moon was, it explained a lot because her moon is in Aries. And when emotion builds and stress builds, it's important for her to be physical to get the stress out. And if you try to make, especially when they're little toddler, be quiet, sit down, don't get upset, don't throw a tantrum. For a moon in Aries, man, they got to let it out. So if you know that about your little one, you don't get as upset or frustrated. Or if you know that about yourself, like maybe everybody's telling you, calm down, relax, it's going to be okay. And you're like, no, it's not okay. And I need to let this emotion out. I need to blow off some steam because Aries, they got to let the fire out. They go big, they burn bright and hot and fast and furious, that moon energy. And that's great. And then they're okay. But if you try to keep that bottled up and stay controlled, then it starts to self implode. So you no longer beat yourself up. And I knew, like with my daughter, okay, when the emotions are building, we got to move the body. There's a great book that we used to read. When Sophie gets angry, really, really angry, she runs. And I just loved that. The whole world opens. Hey, even compatibility with other people that you live with. When you learn where your moon is and their moon, it makes all the difference. Like if you're married to a Sagittarius moon, you're going to want to be free and have adventure and travel and have fun. And if you have a Cancer moon, you might be like, I want to stay at home and I just want to nestle here and I really don't want to go out. I don't want to party. And the Sagittarius moon is like, oh, you're such a drag. Let's be a free spirit. Come on, let's go. The Cancer moon's like, no, I'm good here. I've got my Netflix. I'm chilling. I got my chocolates. So it makes a whole world of difference. Hello, Hannah. And yes, viva la spring. Yes, it's wonderful, wonderful to have all of you here. Okay, let's hop in. Place your hand on your heart. And you're going to just ask, what is most important that I need to know right now going into this week ahead? See if I can do that as well. So hand on the heart, what's most important that I need to know going into this week ahead? And I'm pulling a card for everyone who's tuning in now and in the future. Queen of Swords. So this is the queen of your castle. You're looking out over your queendom. It's a very analytical card. She's not letting emotions get in the way. And I love that she comes up today, Monday, as the moon is in Capricorn. It's very Capricornian. I even see this as Libra, any of the air signs, because she's thinking, she's contemplating, which direction do I go in? Because I really feel that this week, with the energies that are coming up, with the eclipse at the tail end of the week, you're being given opportunities to make decisions. We're at a crossroads. And which way will you choose to go? You have free will, so you can decide the direction you want to go in. But I'm going to encourage you this week, take stock, look at the bigger picture. Don't let emotions, so her little heart is tucked away. It's kind of hard to see, but that's supposed to be her heart tucked away there in a little safekeeping place so that the emotions aren't overruling. She's in her headspace very much. She's seated, she's working on being grounded, but she's taking stock of the bigger picture. Look at the big picture this week. I look at that card and I also think there's no crying in baseball, meaning let's figure out a plan. You want to create these things. You have a vision, you have a goal, you have a dream. Here's how we can get there. Let's put the plan together. All right. Now, as we look at the week, I love to talk about the overarching energy of the week. And for that, we look at the moon phase. And the reason that that's beneficial is that it enables you to also monitor your energy levels. I know for me, even though we're going towards a new moon, that eclipse energy, so it means the moon's waning, it's getting darker. That eclipse energy is really, I can feel, it's kind of like you hear the rumbling of a car, or like you're getting closer to the party and you hear the music. There's a little bit of an excitement building before we go into that dark period, that internal period, the balsamic. Sometimes the moon energy shows up differently. That's why I love to track it. That's why I have my moon journal, by the way. If you guys want to have a moon journal, let me know. I'll hook you up. But the energy is really, I feel it building. And so this week, as we're going into that new moon, watch your energy levels. Maybe you'll feel more fatigued than normal. Maybe because it's an eclipse, you're going to feel that excitement of change and shift coming, knowing that it's time to let go. And I really encourage you, because this is a new moon in Aries and it happens at 9 degrees. So if you know your chart and you look at that 9-degree point of Aries, you can see where it's going to happen for you specifically. In Moon Club, we're going to dive into the horoscopes of how it affects you. So if you're not in Moon Club, here you go. I'm going to put the link in now to check it out, because in Moon Club, we're going to be doing something very special called creating a treasure map to harness the energy of this new moon eclipse. And you want to do this every new moon in Aries, which only happens once a year, by the way, because it's the start of the astrological new year. And this is where you capture all the things you wish to create and bring into being, really should say co-create and bring into being, aka manifesting, to make it a reality. And so this Thursday at noon Eastern time, so if you're watching live, that'll be March 27th, 2025, we're going to go through this in Moon Club, the sacred ceremonies and rituals that you can use to harness this new moon eclipse energy, because it is very potent. All right, let's get into the week. And if we haven't met yet, my name is Irina Miller. I'm an energy alchemist, a spiritual life guide. I'm an astrologer, and it is my joy to work with curious empathic seekers like yourself and to offer you unique energy recipes with sacred tools, both ancient and modern practices to help you live the life that you were born to live. So if this is something that you resonate with, definitely hit the like button, subscribe. That way you can hear every week what to expect from the week ahead and what energy practices you can use to navigate it with great ease. Okay, so getting into Monday. Monday morning, moon kicks us off in Capricorn energy. And Capricorn energy is very much like that Queen of Swords I just showed. Analytical. She's big picture thinking. She's visionary. Where am I going? What do I want to accomplish? There's responsibilities that come with it. It's very practical and down to earth. So there might be a dream that you have and you say, well, I don't know how practical it is. So you just take a moment and you say, okay, well, let me still keep the vision of it. And let me start saying, what kind of plan could get me closer? Maybe I have to break it down in steps. Maybe you want to travel the world and you realize, well, I've got a job and responsibilities at home. I can't drop everything and leave right now, but I can make a plan to get there at some point. The other cool thing about Monday is that Mercury, I'm going to look at my notes because I don't trust my memory this morning. I was up late working on a project, getting ready for the new moon. The sun is, well, I should say Mercury is conjunct the sun. The sun is conjunct Mercury. It's what's called a cazimi. So the sun and Mercury are kissing in the heavens above. And what this does is it brings even more potency to your thoughts, to your thinking. It's kind of like The sun is the energy of your identity, your willpower, your heart. Mercury is your intellect, your thinking, your knowing, your ability to communicate. And Mercury, who is going retrograde, is going backwards, coming to the sun and says, okay, I'm ready for those big thoughts. I'm ready to tune in to my heart. What do I want to bring forward? So pay attention to the thoughts and ideas that come up today. And a card jumped right out of the deck, which is Four of Wands. Keep the end in mind. Keep that picture of where you want to go and reverse engineer it. So the Four of Wands is stability, it's celebration, it's playfulness, it's the opportunity to really enjoy yourself and to feel lighthearted. They're dancing, they're having fun, their hair is blowing in the wind, they're out in the night, the stars are coming out, the fire is burning bright. So with this energy, on Monday, I'm going to encourage you, as the big thoughts and pictures come in mind, begin with the end in mind. Where do you want to go? And then reverse engineer it. That's really interesting. I'm always fascinated by what comes through because I definitely am channeling these messages for you. And I need to go back in the week too and pay attention. All right, Tuesday. So by Tuesday, the moon has moved into Aquarius. And Aquarius is another great energy to be able to detach from the emotions, meaning you're not going to let the drama sink you down. You're going to be very innovative, creative, thinking outside the box. So I encourage you, those ideas that come to you on Monday, give yourself some time to kind of noodle on them, to just contemplate, like, okay, I also think of Aquarian energy, like that movie Robots, if you ever saw that many years ago, where it's like see a need, fill a need. And it's like, okay, where can I be of service? Where can I bring my talents and my gifts into the world? Sometimes I think we get so narrow visioned because either we see other people doing what we want to do or that we're doing, or we see other people succeeding and we're like, oh, how will I ever do it? And remember, you are a unique spiritual being having this human life. And what is coming through, this divine inspiration, the spark from God, can only be expressed through you, no other medium. Meaning, even if somebody else is inspired by a similar idea, they're going to speak about it differently. They're going to bring it into the physical world differently. And if we get hung up on their path, it will limit us or limit you in being able to really bring through your vision. It's kind of like, I'm trying to think, a lot of times in art class in high school, I loved being able to take art because that was the class where I ended up going into deep meditation. You have all these heavy course loads and you have a class like that and you can start to relax, let your mind just go to a peaceful place. It's like crocheting or washing dishes, chopping wood, carrying water. You make your hands busy and the mind can calm and all these incredible insights come through. But with that energy of Aquarius and thinking outside the box, allow yourself not to be intimidated or swayed by what others are doing around you. Like we used to sit at a table of four doing artwork and you might be like, oh my God, what they're doing is incredible. Wow, look at that. I'd never be able. And then that throws us. So give yourself an opportunity to kind of just get into a rhythm. Maybe you go out for a walk. The Aquarians are an air sign. They've learned how to contain their emotions, the water. So they're known as the water bearers. But you might still be drawn to water. So maybe sit near water as well. Oh, the cards are jumping today. The world. So I love this again. So here's another begin with the end in mind card. This is a success card. The world is signifying a completion. Something is coming to a wrap. And as she jumped out, she kind of jumped out sideways. So I also want to honor her if she's bringing in that energy of the reverse. By that, if there are things that need to be released and let go of this week, physical clutter in the home, old ideas, thoughts, beliefs, let them go so that you are ready for this new moon manifesting energy that's coming up on Saturday. Because if our hands are full, if our space is full, we're not going to be able to bring in the things that our heart most desperately wishes and wants and hopes for. So begin with the end in mind. Where are you going? Celebrate the successes, the things that have blessed your life, and then you release them. You let them go. The other thing too is that physical clutter, I'm looking around, I've got different papers around as I was working last night, didn't get a chance to clean up my desk enough this morning, but it clutters the mind. It makes it difficult to be focused and on point. When you get things in order, all of a sudden, the ideas flow with more ease. The physical body feels more relaxed. And part of that has to do with the vibrations bumping off or bouncing off the things around you. Think of it like echolocation or sonar. You can't see with your eyes, but if you send out a sound, you get a sensation or an image, a picture back. And it's very similar. We might have our sight, thank God we're blessed with sight, but we're still receiving that data back of all the things around us, just sending off an energy, a vibration, a frequency, and you're picking up on it. And so by clearing and releasing the clutter, it makes it much easier to have clarity when you're at that crossroads, when you have to decide which direction do I go in next. These things aren't holding you back any longer. You can, if you have a Sagittarian friend who stops by, who's like, hey, let's go on a road trip. You're like, okay. It's easy. I can just know where my bag is, throw some things in it. I've got everything at my fingertips. I can go. All right. So Wednesday's energy. Wednesday moon is still in Aquarius. It's going to move into Pisces later in the afternoon, but we wake up with it in Aquarius, and you pay attention to where the moon was when you woke up. That's the general flavor of the day. So still in Aquarius, what's most important that you need to know? And we'll see, they're not jumping quite as much. Ooh, but I like this. How cool. Ace of Swords. This is a new idea and thought coming in. There's a lot of thoughts this week. Oh my gosh, here's the inspiration. Ace of Swords. Ace is beginning brand new. And swords, the thought, the intellect, the mind. She's here in a beautiful meditative space. And it's like Sherlock Holmes, her mental mind palace. She has all of these inspirational figures around her. And, how do I want to say, not necessarily figures, but I'm thinking of like mathematical problems. And she's downloading these insights. Oh, great day for meditating on Wednesday. I would highly encourage it, especially when the moon moves into Pisces later that afternoon. It's around 3:31 p.m. Eastern time, noon for our Pacific times. Across the pond, it'll be like 8 or 9, or maybe 7 or 8. I'm going to encourage you, take some time, just quiet time on Monday if you can. And if you can take it early in the morning when you first wake up, you might find that that's very beneficial. Okay. Thursday, the moon is fully in Pisces. And what I love about Thursday's energy, I'm just looking at my little cheat sheet here of all the planets. Venus moves into Pisces and Venus is hugging Neptune. What does this mean? It's a very daydreamy kind of day. So with that being said, daydreamy kind of day, make sure you're grounded. So this is my free little gift to everyone who comes and plays with me here in the weekly show, irenamiller.co/get calm. Here is a 2-minute downloadable guided audio of a practice that I use with my clients. It's my most requested grounding practice. I call it the root flesh fill. So if you haven't picked that up yet, definitely scoop it up here, because on Thursday, very daydreamy, Piscean, Neptune, just kind of get lost in the world of fantasy. You're going to want to make sure you're grounded. What I love about Thursday, and just the rhythm of the cosmos, how it sets it up for us so beautifully. We start very analytical, pragmatic, down to earth with Capricorn Moon on Monday. Then we go into innovative, creative, think outside the box, Tuesday, Wednesday. How can I play with this? See a need, fill a need kind of thing. And then Thursday, that's when you get into the daydreaming. That's kind of like sitting underneath the apple tree and the apple falling on your head. So paying attention with those meditative practices for those inspirational thoughts that come in on Wednesday, and then getting a little bit caught up in the daydream on Thursday. Ooh, fun. Because we're preparing for that new moon, which is going to set the tone and course, new moon solar eclipse, the tone and course for this next astrological year and where you're going and how you want to navigate your ship, because you have free will and we're using the stars to navigate by. Okay, Thursday, what's most important that you need to know? I say Hierophant, some people say Hierophant. Let me get this out of the way. And this is really highway to heaven. It's your pathway to enlightenment. It's your pathway to connecting with bliss, Ananda, joy, source. And it's so playful. The traditional card from the Rider-Waite deck is very traditional and serious looking. And it's a little bit imposing because the Hierophant, I don't know why I want to say Hierophant today. Hierophant, tomato. He is about tradition and structure and rules. It's kind of a bit stodgy, typically speaking. But this artist has interpreted it as very playful, kind of like there are many different pathways we take, but they're really bringing us all to the same place of love. So on Thursday, as you're daydreaming, what I want to invite you to take note of is that yes, there might be traditional steps and rules and pathways to get to your end goal, but you might choose the path less taken. You might take a different route and you'll still get there. Very, very interesting. Oh, I love it. All right. So Friday moon is in Pisces, and that Pisces energy card's jumping out. It'll move into Aries later in the day, very late, 4:36 p.m. Eastern for us on the East Coast, and then our friends on the West Coast, Pacific time, 1:36, and then across the pond. I gotta figure out if you guys are 4 or 5 hours ahead of us right now, 8:36, 9:36 p.m. So just notice for those subtle shifts. I like to know exactly when the moon's changing and shifting because you can become attuned to those subtle little energies. Like maybe you felt when the sun went into Pisces last week on the equinox, from Pisces into Aries on the equinox. We went from that kind of laid back, daydreamy, go with the flow energy to go, ready for fun, ready for action, really ready for action with Aries. Okay, so for Friday, what do you need to know? 9 of Cups came out. I love this. Fairy godmother, make a wish. Oh my God, this is so cool. Because on Saturday, you're going to write down your new moon wishes. This is so thrilling. So Friday rather, start to open your heart to all the dreams that you want to call in. Don't call them in just yet because you want to specifically, the sacred practice is that you do it with the new moon energy. And so that new moon energy happens on Saturday in the wee hours of the morning, round about 7 a.m., 6:59 a.m. Eastern. So I'm going to encourage you Saturday to write down the wishes, but Friday, start to let those wishes come in, start to daydream about them. Still in that Piscean energy. Okay, Saturday. So you've got the solar eclipse. What's most important that you need to know about Saturday's energy, the Aries eclipse. And the world came up again. Beautiful. So there is that celebration. We've come full circle. And 9 is an energy of action. It's an energy of going. I'm going to encourage you with the world card and this new moon, oh, my nose is itchy. I'm going to encourage you, take a moment to be bold like the Aries and to handwrite your new moon wishes down. And only up to 10. You only want to do 10, no more than 10. And that's part of Jan Spiller's routine with new moon practice, sacred practices. But you write down 10 wishes that are bold, inspiring, courageous, that you wish to call in with this new moon. And then if you're curious about that treasure map practice, I'm going to have you check out Moon Club, irenamiller.co/club. And we're going to go deeper into that. You can also get on my mailing list. I'm going to talk more and more about the treasure map there. And if you get the irenamiller.co/get calm and download that guided audio visual meditative practice, you'll also get the insights. So thank you so very much for being a part of the fun this week. It was wonderful to see you. Hey, and I forgot Sunday. I can't believe I did that because I was so excited about the eclipse moon. Let's just talk about that really quickly. Let me pull a card because it kicks off in Aries. All right. What do you need to know about the moon on Sunday? Oh, I got the world card again. All right, I'm going to pull one more card. Okay. Here you go. I love it. That makes sense. So the world card, you're still in that energy of coming full circle, of having the knowledge, celebrating where you've been, where you want to go. And the 3 of Wands, you've made your decision. And I like that because this is an energy where we are at the crossroads. And at the crossroads, we're trying to decide, do I go left? Do I go right? And if you do the practices with the moon this week, so just a quick recap, Monday, Capricorn, big visionary picture. Take into account the big dream, the vision of where you want to go. Don't let the emotions overrule you, stop you, or block you. Tuesday, that Aquarian moon lets you think outside the box, be very innovative, creative. Then as you get into the Thursday energy of the Pisces, daydream, that's when you start to let the fantasy kind of come in and you're like, oh, let me just feel into this. What could it really be like? And then the Aries energy comes and it's like, all right, it's go time. Now we make our decision. Now we know which direction we're going to go in. And how will you know which direction you're going to go in? Well, again, take those steps with the moon, give yourself some time just in the quiet, outside if possible, and those insights really will pop through this week. And for more sacred practices, definitely stay tuned. Have a wonderful week. Make sure to trust your vibes, follow your heart, and I'll catch you all on the flip side. Bye, guys. Thanks for being here.